By 1991-92, Sugarbun was booming. We then expanded Sugarbun to almost over 100 outlets in Brunei, Sabah, Sarawak, and then we were in Shanghai too, Once you go out of the shores of Borneo, Sabah and Sarawak, Sugarbun is not so well known. People tend to misassociate it with something like a bun. They think it's a sugar bun, So we have been trying for the past 20 years, figuring out how to move beyond Sarawak. And we are going through this rebranding exercise to make sure that this Sarawak brand that comes from Borneo becomes an international brand.
Sarawak, home to nearly 2.5 million ethnically and culturally diverse people, is the third largest contributor to Malaysia's economy, thanks to its abundant natural resources and thriving ecosystem. But down on the home front, local businesses have been making their own marks in their community over the years. In this series, we meet some of the most innovative and aspiring Sarawakians today to find out why they do what they do and how they do it. In 1979, a man named Wong opened a humble ice cream parlour in Kenyalang Commercial Centre, Kuching. He named it Sugarbun, after a catchy phrase he saw on his trip to Taiwan. Sugarbun is Sarawak's very own homegrown fast food chain. It has been an iconic fixture of many Sarawakians' childhoods for over 4 decades. To learn more about today's Sugarbun, we flew to Kota Kinabalu, the land below the wind, to speak with a man at the Laban House. Meet Dato' Joseph Ambrose Lee, a high-spirited and sporty boss who has been running Sugarbun since 1993. Over the past decades, he has seen Malaysia's economy at its peak and at its lowest, but his spirit and drive hold strong. Ironically, he was also once an ice cream parlour owner.
When I came back from overseas in 1981, I also started an ice cream parlour in Sabah. Not knowing each other, he was doing ice cream parlour too. Mine was soft serve and his was also soft serve and hard ice cream. Within 2 to 3 years, he decided that ice cream is not a staple food. So he decided to sell something that is of a meal. So that's how we started with roasted chicken.
An American friend introduced them to a state-of-the-art roaster fry at the time, which combines deep frying and pressure cooking. This allows the chicken to cook quickly with its crispy exterior while keeping its meat tender and juicy inside. Mr. Wong brought home the fryer from the States and the rest is history.
Roasted chicken is very Sarawakian, very Borneo. The dominant ingredient in the roasted chicken is Sarawak pepper. Sarawak pepper, black pepper is one of the best.
This is a white pepper. We purchased it from the Sarawak pepper box. And this is a very top grade white pepper. We use it for marinating our chicken and for most of our products. The black pepper we also come from the Sarawak pepper box. Okay, and then is a top grade. Is a export quality. The black pepper we also use it for seasoning and also for cooking for our sauces.
Mr. Wong's brother formulated the savory rice, which is today still a very, very hot item. There is a secret in that rice, which a lot of people, even I think the people who initially formulated the rice did not realize that the secret lies in something else, not in the ingredient. We call it a result that has arrived through a default. The third iconic dish that came out at that time when Wong was around were the hockey fish from New Zealand, the fish burger.
There were no fast food restaurants in Sarawak in the 1980s. Locals only knew about the modern dining experience from KFC and McDonald's commercials broadcasted on local radio stations. They were curious about the fast food concept and envious of those who had access to it, but not for long.
By 1991-92, Sugarbun was booming. Every Sarawakian was like, you go to Sugarbun. This chicken is fantastic. No oil. It's fresh. And somehow, Wong went into a kind of an ideological conflict within himself. So he decided, to call it a day and look for somebody to carry on this branding and this business. I remember I went to Sarawak. Sarawak didn't have that flyover yet, It was just a road right in front of Wisma Sarawak, which was the Sugarbun HQ then. So I had the roasted chicken. I was very impressed with it. It's very simple, but it's very fresh. It brings in the natural essence of the chicken. It took me like half an hour, I decided, and I went to see Mr. Wong. We had a deal, and then I took over Sugarbun in 1992. We completed the takeover in 1993-94. Went through many restructuring, and today it is part of a company called Borneo Oil. From there, we then expanded Sugarbun to almost over 100 outlets in Brunei, Sabah, Sarawak, and then we were in Shanghai too,
Even though Sugarbun's headquarters is now in Sabah, the production plant has remained in Sarawak at Kota Padawan. The production plant processes the raw ingredients, pre-cooks the food, and delivers them to all Sugarbun outlets across Sarawak, Brunei, and Sabah. At this plant, we met Mr. Chin, the general manager, who has been with the company for 35 years. That may sound like a long time, but in fact, most of the company's management are Sarawakians who have served as long as 40 years.
This fresh chicken we receive from suppliers. They are delivered the fresh chicken every morning. We are receiving approximate about 1,500 to 2,000 knots of chicken. After the chicken we receive, we have to check all the quality, make sure the chicken is fresh. So after the staff receive the chicken, first they have to clean the chicken, and then they will be cut using the cutter. Then they go for the next process, marinade of the chicken. This is our cooking kitchen for Sugarbun. Mainly for the Sugarbun products and the fixture products. This is including the product, including for cooking all the sauces, the mushroom soup, chicken soup, and curry chicken. Everything will be produced here. And for the sauces, like example, the satay sauces, the chili sauces, and all will be producing in this kitchen.
Once you go out of the shores of Borneo, Sabah and Sarawak, Sugarbun is not so well known. If you go around beyond the shores of Borneo and you talk about Sugarbun, they think it's maybe a playboy club. Okay, but when you go out of Borneo and you say this is Borneo food, there is no equivalent of Borneo food in the world. So we have been trying for the past 20 years, figuring out how to move beyond Sarawak. And we are going through this rebranding exercise to make sure that this Sarawak brand that comes from Borneo becomes an international brand.
Built in 1981, Wisma Sugarbun is located at Sarawak, Kuching. It houses the company's regional office and is also home to the only company-owned Sugarbun outlet. The heart of Sugarbun's menu is its three signature dishes: the roasted chicken, the fish burger, and its iconic savory rice. In 2001, a new Asian cuisine menu was introduced, serving new food items such as eco-fish and mushroom chicken to the welcome delight of its customers.
I remember clearly, it's approximately about 15, 20 years ago, When during that time they under the pertubuhan peladang at this Batangay, as it's a very small, during that time it's a very small farm lah. They're laying this Batangay eco fish. During that time they start recommend this tilapia fish to us.
In the outskirts of Kuching lies Batangay, one of the oldest Iban settlements in Sarawak, and where one can find abundant freshwater tilapia fishes, cultivated among the waters of a hydroelectric dam. As part of a larger conservatory effort, the Sarawak government launched an initiative to provide employment opportunities to the community. This is where Sugarbun sources its tilapia for its eco-fish dishes.
So sekarang kita berada di sangkar kawasan di Batangay. Kita ada menginang ikan jenis ikan tilapia merah. So di sini kita ada kurang lebih 1,680 buah sangkar di kawasan di Teluk di sini saja. Sebab kita keseluruhan kawasan sangkar kita, jumlah sangkar kita ada 5,000 lebih. Di kawasan ini kita ada dua kategori sangkar lah. Jadi kita ada kategori sangkar yang besi, yang dibuat daripada besi, dan kita ada juga sangkar yang dibuat daripada pipe plastik lah, yang kita sebut sangkar bulat. So kita simpan dalam sangkar bulat ini untuk menggalak tumbesaran ikan itu. Jadi kalau kita simpan dalam sangkar bulat macam ini, keleluasan dia memang ada. Jadi ikan itu lebih cepat lagi dia membesar.
The fish is we will see that there is no because they are lay the fish in the dams, fresh water, and then there is no mud smell. You see, because they are come from the fresh running water. That's why the fish is no mud smell. And then we during that time we start creating our menu using that Batangay eco fish.
Approximately 10 tons of tilapia are consumed at Sugarbun outlets every month. It is symbiotic relationships like this between Sugarbun and Borneo ecofish that push the name of Borneo forward.
Setiap hari dalam 1 tan hingga 2 tan satu hari kita proses untuk yang Sugarbun. Itu untuk memenuhi permintaan Sugarbun yang dalam 9 sampai 12 tan satu bulan.
My name is Sharifah Lia Palena binti Wan alias. I'm the Peladang Ceria Hatchery Sendirian Berhad, Hatchery Assist Manager here. So this is our hatchery facility. This is our red tilapia. We have few stages. So the first stage is the pure eggs. The second stage has eyes already. The third stage is start to have tails. And the fourth stage is swimming upright. So after 7 days, we can transfer to the SRT pond already. After our process in the hatchery, we will release it into the pond. This is what we call SRT pond. We have the SRT nets here to protect the fry from predators.
And as Borneo becomes more exposed to the international market, bigger enterprises like Sugarbun recognize that staying true to its roots is the best way forward. But in order to appeal to an increasingly global audience, Sugarbun's menu and brand must evolve, not just in terms of its offerings, but also in the way it communicates with a new generation of diners. Before the break, we visited the Borneo Eco Fish Farm at Batangay, where we toured the largest tilapia producers in Sarawak. Back in Sabah, we traveled to a small town named Kuching to catch a very special food critic in the act, bulbul birds. These resident songbirds are after a peculiar delicacy, the Momporok chili. This indigenous chili species is only found in the volcanic marshlands of Sabah, where it is cultivated from the digested seeds left behind by wild bulbul birds. The environment and the method of germination infuse a distinctive taste and aroma into the chilies, unique only to Kunak.
The same seedling will only have this aromatic and very special, unique taste if it comes from a place called Kunak in Sabah. Okay, the same seed can be dispersed by the same bird in another area, and the chili that comes out may be spicy, but it doesn't have that aroma, because there's only one chili in the world that has never been genetically altered. There's only one chili in the world that has this aroma. You can have chili padi anywhere in Asia, but this chili padi is transported by the birds. This is a natural thing that comes from the poo of the bird. We call it the bulbul bird. So traditionally, this chili has always been collected from the wild. There was no large-scale planting. Yeah. So we started last year with the first iconic item, Sabasco. We call it Sabasco because we just want to create this Sabah chili company. So when we first started this chili, we never knew that the market acceptance was so great. Now everywhere we go around, we have been encouraging all the smallholders to plant. So only in this area in Kunak, you can produce this chili.
But Datuk Joseph and his team at Sugarbun do not plan to stop there. Their goal is to propel Sarawak and Sabah to the international stage by bringing Borneo's specialty produce to the world, and to do it while creating a harmonious and sustainable environment that contributes back to the community.
So looking at the situation and looking at the world today, where the world is facing, all these external forces of logistics, environmental forces, we realize that it's important for Borneo to actually go into self-sufficiency and Borneo to contribute to the world and its relevance to the world when it comes to product. We decided, why don't we go upstream? Apart from being a food brand, we must also be a food producer. The next item we're going to zero in on is from Sarawak, and it's from Bakalalai. Only, just like Kunak, only in this area you can produce a barrio rice of the first grade. Barrio rice can be planted anywhere else in Sabah and Sarawak, but it doesn't have the quality of those that are produced in Bakalalai, in Barrio.
In our next episode, we travel out from our home base in Kuching to Bakalalai to learn more about the popular Adan rice, also famously known as barrio rice.